type of a deal. Okay, so a police officer pulls over a speeding car. The officer says, "I clocked you at 80 miles an hour, sir." Driver says, "Goodness, officer, I had it on cruise control at 60. Perhaps your radar gun needs calibrating." Not looking up from her knitting, wife says, "Now, don't be silly, dear. You know this car doesn't have cruise control." The officer writes out the ticket. The driver looks over at his wife and he growls, "Can't you just once keep your mouth shut?" Wife smiles demurely and says, "Well, dear, you should be thankful your radar detector went off when it did, or your speed would have been higher." Officer makes out the second ticket for illegal radar detector unit.
Oh, no.
The man looks at his wife through his teeth. He says, "Woman, can't you keep your mouth shut?" Officer frowns and says, "I noticed that you're not wearing a seatbelt, sir. That's a standalone $75 ticket." Driver says, "Yeah, well, I had it on, officer, but I took it off when you pulled me over so I could get my license out of my back pocket." The wife says, "Now, dear, you know very well you didn't have your seatbelt on. You never wear your seatbelt when you're driving." Police officer is writing out the third ticket. The driver turns to his wife and says, "Would you please shut up?" The officer looks over at the woman and says, "Does your husband always talk to you this way, ma'am?" "Only when he's drinking."
Ooh.
"Only when..." Oh, come on.
That was a long way to go for... Well, Johnny, next week, there's always next week,
Yeah. Maybe I'll show up. Maybe I won't.
Try to stay as positive as possible. Gee, John.
Okay, it's your cue.
All right.
John.
Here you go, Johnny.
St. Cloud's classic rock station. 1037, The Loon.
That's the Rolling Stones. Entertainment news coming up next.